12th February 1942, a cold morning in London. In a cluttered office belonging to Britain's Special Operations Executive, a small object lies on a wooden table beneath a single lamp. It is no larger than a loaf of bread, wrapped in feathers and stiff with age. At first glance, it appears to be a dead pigeon, the sort found in any alleyway or churchyard. Yet, inside its body rests a carefully concealed explosive charge designed to destroy machinery, ignite fuel stores, and sow fear behind enemy lines. The men gathered around it speak quietly. They know this strange device may never be used. They also know war rewards imagination as much as firepower. Across occupied Europe, the British are fighting an invisible conflict. Saboteurs move by night. Resistance fighters hide radios beneath floorboards. Couriers cross borders carrying messages sewn into clothing. Every object is examined for military value. A bicycle becomes a getaway vehicle. A cigarette case hides secret film. Even death itself becomes camouflage. The pigeon on the table is part of this desperate search for advantage, an attempt to disguise destruction within something so ordinary that nobody would think twice about touching it. The idea sounds absurd today. Dead birds are symbols of decay, not weapons. Yet the war has already produced stranger inventions. Fake coal packed with explosives blows apart German locomotives. Hollow tree trunks conceal radio equipment. Tiny pistols fit in sleeves and fire during handshakes. Against such a backdrop, weaponizing a dead pigeon no longer seems impossible. It becomes another experiment born from necessity, secrecy, and fear. The officers discussing the device are not chasing elegance. They are searching for surprise. Germany occupies vast stretches of Europe, controlling factories, railways, and supply depots. Conventional bombing destroys targets, but it also destroys cities and alerts the enemy. Britain needs quieter methods. A single hidden explosive placed in the right location can achieve what dozens of bombs cannot. That is why this peculiar bird matters. It represents a moment when victory depends not on brute force, but on imagination. By early 1942, Britain faces enormous challenges. The German war machine stretches from France to the Soviet Union. Occupied territories contain thousands of factories supporting the Nazi military effort. Rail networks transport millions of tons of coal, ammunition, and supplies each year. Direct attacks are difficult. Aircraft are vulnerable to anti-aircraft fire, whilst agents operating behind enemy lines risk capture and execution. Sabotage offers hope, yet conventional explosives are difficult to conceal. The Special Operations Executive, founded in July 1940, exists specifically to solve this problem. Prime Minister Winston Churchill orders it to set Europe ablaze. Engineers, chemists, and intelligence officers begin designing devices disguised as everyday objects. Explosives are hidden inside soap, wine bottles, and lumps of coal. The objective is simple. The disguise must be convincing enough to survive casual inspection, whilst the explosive remains powerful enough to cripple valuable targets. Dead animals offer a disturbing possibility. A carcass lying beside a railway or near a fuel depot attracts little attention. Workers might move it carelessly or throw it into a furnace. If the timing is right, the explosion occurs where it can inflict maximum damage. Records regarding dead pigeons remain fragmentary and in some cases classified, but surviving references suggest British planners examined numerous animal disguises whilst exploring unconventional sabotage methods. The concept was never widely deployed and may have remained experimental. Even so, it reveals how desperate and inventive wartime planners became. If you are finding this interesting, a quick subscribe helps more than you know. The engineering behind such devices is surprisingly sophisticated.
SOE scientists working at facilities including Station 9 in Hertfordshire specialize in miniature explosives and disguised weapons. Charges weighing only a few hundred grams can rupture machinery or ignite combustible material. Timing mechanisms vary from chemical delays lasting several hours to mechanical fuses small enough to fit in a pocket. In the case of animal disguises, the greatest challenge is concealment. The explosive must fit naturally within the body cavity without altering the creature's shape. The outer appearance must remain convincing, even at close range. Engineers compare the process to repairing a damaged coat. Everything hidden inside must fit perfectly, or the illusion fails. Britain's most famous animal sabotage device ultimately becomes the explosive rat. Hundreds are produced and packed with plastic explosive. German authorities discover the first shipment before deployment, but the discovery itself causes panic. Soldiers begin searching coal piles and warehouses for hidden explosives, wasting countless hours. Historians often view this psychological effect as more significant than any actual detonation. Compared with German sabotage equipment, British disguises are remarkably imaginative. Germany develops magnetic mines and concealed explosives, yet British designers focus heavily on deception and everyday objects. American intelligence agencies later adopt similar principles, designing covert devices inspired partly by British wartime innovation. The philosophy is identical. The best weapon is sometimes the one nobody notices. The dead pigeon concept, whether fully operational or merely experimental, embodies this philosophy perfectly. Its value lies not only in destructive potential, but in unpredictability. Imagine being a railway worker who suddenly realizes even a discarded bird might conceal an explosive. Suspicion spreads everywhere. Ordinary life becomes uncertain. Fear becomes a weapon. Today, the true impact of these experiments remains difficult to measure. Wartime archives are incomplete. Some documents were destroyed, whilst others remain hidden within intelligence collections. Historians disagree about how far certain projects progressed beyond prototypes, yet the surviving evidence paints a vivid picture of extraordinary creativity. Britain fought the Second World War not only with battleships and bombers, but with ideas so strange they seemed unbelievable. And so the image returns, a dead pigeon resting beneath a lamp in wartime London, feathers concealing explosives, silence concealing ambition. Perhaps it was never deployed, perhaps it never left the drawing board. That uncertainty is part of the story. The real lesson is not whether this single device changed the war. It is that Britain explored every possibility, however bizarre, in pursuit of victory. War transforms factories into arsenals, scientists into saboteurs, and ordinary objects into instruments of destruction. Sometimes it transforms the impossible into reality. Sometimes it transforms a dead bird into a weapon. And sometimes the strangest ideas reveal the most about the world that created them. Because in the secret war against Nazi Germany, even death could become camouflage.